Wonderful spiritual leader here to talk to us, Allie.
Thank you, Michael. I'm going to be sharing with you a story about resiliency and resourcefulness. Perched atop one of the many hills south of Bethlehem is the Hare's Vineyard, also known as the Tent of Nations. Since 1916, this 100-acre vineyard has been home of the Nassers, a Palestinian Christian family whose patriarch, the Hare, bought it from the Ottomans. Under successive governments, British, Jordanian, and now Israeli, the successive generations of Nassers have loved and cultivated their land, raising livestock and growing crops such as grapes, figs, wheat, and of course, olives. From the start, before the word was ever being used, the vineyard was eco-friendly. Its carbon footprint has been very modest. The first generation of the family lived in caves such as this one, dug deep into the terraced hillside. Subsequent structures have been humble at best. No high-rises here, rather a motley assortment of tents, hoop houses, stables, and single-storied outbuildings like this kitchen with its dining pavilion. The vineyard is encircled by the separation wall, that's the blue line, and surrounded by many neighbors. Below them, Nahalin, a small Palestinian Muslim village, and on the hilltops around them, expanding Israeli Jewish settlements declared illegal under international law. The settlements are a study in contrast to the vineyard. This one, Beitar Elite, home to over 38,000 ultra-Orthodox, enjoys full government subsidies, generous supplies of water and electricity, and a growing population projected to reach 100,000 by 2020. The Tent of Nations is a much coveted property. 24/7, somebody is in residence vigilant for the occasions, and there have been many, when settlers have come, guns in hand, claiming, God gave us this land, it is ours, not yours. The Nassers have responded to such menacing behavior with an invitation. Put down your guns, and then you are welcome. But instead, some of the settlers have escalated their intimidation, jumping the border fencing. They've assaulted at times the soul of the vineyard, attacking the olive groves, and uprooting over 250 of the centuries-old olive trees. For every one tree uprooted, however, the Nassers have planted 10 more, donated to them by European Jews for a just peace. The Israeli government also covets the vineyard. First they tried to buy the land, then declared it state property, and now say it's a security threat. In 2003, soldiers sealed off the vineyard's access road. They returned regularly with bulldozers to reinforce the boulders. For 20 years, the Nassers have been in the courts defending their property rights. The case continues. Meanwhile, the government has cut off electricity and water, and this past year issued demolition orders declaring illegal the vineyard's modest structures, including this goat shed. The challenges are daunting. Some might lose hope, but not the current generation of Nasser family. They persist and prevail, deeply rooted in and strengthened by their ancestors' peacemaking legacy of beating swords into plowshares and studying war no more. The Hare now lives in his grandfather's cave. He's a living icon of hospitality. This place, he explains, is open for all people. He exudes steadfast love and loyalty. My land is like my mother. I don't sell my mother. His younger brother Daoud was only 5 when their father died, but peacemaking is in his DNA as well. His vision for the Tent of Nations, We are trying to build bridges of understanding and trust in order for both nations to see each other as human beings and not enemies. We are the ones, he says, who can keep hope alive. Even in these dark times, there is a way out. Resilient and resourceful, the Nassers are showing that way. Lacking public water, they have built composting toilets and have completed 11 cisterns. Aspiring to be self-sustainable, they recycle gray water, and their farming practices are all organic. Prohibited from building up, they are digging down, creating new caves, a chapel, for example, and one to welcome the many visitors from around the world. Removed from the power grid, the Nassers have turned to alternative energies. The old diesel generator is out, solar panels are in, and soon they will be installing a wind turbine. The Tent of Nations is more than a physical landscape, it's also a spiritual one, a realm of imagination that envisions alternatives to hostility, teaching reconciliation, cooperation, and respect for the dignity of all. They host a summer peacemaking and arts camp for children and have organized a vocational training center for the women in neighboring Nahalin. Artwork is everywhere at the vineyard, decorating caves, field stones, even the walls of the outhouse. The mosaics offer a compelling metaphor. From brokenness, the Tent of Nations is creating something beautiful, a vision of peace and harmony that inspires the heart and gentles the soul. Gentle of soul, the Nassers are fierce in their struggle for human dignity for all. Though afflicted, they are resilient. With every fiber of their being, they embrace and embody a way of life summed up in these 5 words: we refuse to be enemies.
Amen and amen.